Hi, and welcome to day 7 of our Fascia Flow reset. You've made it through a week of these practices, so congratulations. I hope that your body feels amazing and you're really giving the body and the breath even the attention that it needs. So today's theme, we will be focusing on softening and sensing and integrating. So slow, minimal transitions. This is going to be a 20-minute sequence. I'm really going to nail myself down to get that time in on that 20-minute mark. But I want you to think about today isn't about doing necessarily more. It's about doing less and letting everything land that you've been working through this past week. So you've given your fascia a chance to kind of work through the different layers of fascia, as well as restore hydration and elasticity in the muscles and the tissues. So you've taken the time also to reintroduce ease into the areas of the body that we hold so much stress and tension. So give yourself a little pat on the back for that and taking this time to do this for yourself and practice a little bit of self-love and self-care. So with that, we're going to get started. Today, the only props that I think you'll need would be your firm pillow or your yoga blanket and a yoga strap. So I'm going to set that to the side. So we're going to start with a 3-part breathing, which is just our Dirga Pranayama. It's our 3-part breath. We're bringing the breath in through the nose and all the way down into the bottom of the belly. So when you're ready, we're going to invite length into the spine and tuck your chin in towards the chest. And just close your eyes and soften your eyelids, soften your jaw, and notice where you're holding on to tension that you can release. Maybe bringing in a little bit more air. Finding a longer exhalation than your inhale. And you can sigh it out. Just notice the body responding to your breath. In particular, how the breath comes in through the nose, and down into the belly, expanding through the rib cage. Breathing deeply. This is a perfect opportunity for you to cultivate some sort of a dedication or a sankalpa, your intention for your practice. And this could be for the whole series. It could be for your day if you're starting this practice in the morning, or for your week, whatever it needs to be. This is a place where we can discover that place where we set our intentions. No restrictions to the outside world, right? We know that everything we can trust is in here, inside. So everything that we need to lead and guide us. And when you're ready, we're going to take the strap, and you can come into any comfortable seat. So this can be your simple cross-legged pose, or you're more than welcome to take a block or even a bolster and come into Thunderbolt pose. I think I'm going to take Thunderbolt pose, and I might even use the help of my bolster, since our theme is to look for those places of ease, right? So a little bit more support feels really nice to me tonight. So I'm going to take the strap into my hands about shoulder width distance apart. And this is a kind of a personal preference on how far you want the hands to be in distance. You can always change that. It definitely is going to depend on how tight you are in your shoulders. So when you're ready, we'll take a nice big deep breath in and stretch that strap up and overhead. And then on your exhalation, slowly start to bend the elbows. Inhale, extend the arms as much as you can up to the sky. Just celebrate that stretch. It's such a nice way to open up. And then exhale, slowly start to release. If you can, Shorten the distance between the hands. You're going to be a little bit more restricted in the shoulders and the range of motion there. Inhale and exhale, bend the elbows. If you want to take more space between the strap and bring your arms, keep your arms into extension and bring them all the way back, that's another option. So kind of see where you are in the shoulders, especially if you're just waking up, you're going to be tight there. And then bring it back down. Inhale, we'll do this 2 more times. Inhale up and exhale. Slowly bend into the elbows. Inhale up and then bring it back down. We have 1 more round here. Inhaling up. Big deep breath in and exhale. Goalpost, bend the elbows. And then bring it back to center. We're going to pause with that strap up and overhead. Start to draw circles on the ceiling with your hands, with the strap. And then I want you to find that you can make these, you can kind of figure out that tail of the strap too if you don't want it hanging down to whip you in the face. But make your circles as big or as small as you'd like them to be and take that range of motion however you'd like. You can take it in front if you have more of a shoulder restriction. Taking it wide, taking it small, getting into the side body. You can get really creative here. So shoulder flossing. This is one of my favorites where you kind of turn that bottom arm into an internally rotated position. You can take it this way. So yeah, explore. Think about around the world, I think they call it in the fitness world. So taking that strap, just feels really good to massage this area, and you'll see why they call it shoulder flossing, right? Let's take a couple more breaths here. Breathe deeply into the side body as you find that you can create more length with your breath. Couple more breaths here. And then you can just place the strap to center or to the side rather, and take note of how you feel. Feels nice. It feels like, makes you feel like you want to sit up nice and tall after that, right? So, all right. And so now we're going to take our pillow or our bolster, and some of you might like to place a block underneath to elevate it. I can show you that variation. My handy dandy block is right here. Or you can even take 2 blocks if you prefer to do that. So I'm going to set my block like this. Oh, my dog is joining me for practice tonight. Okay, so I have this elevated, and it's perfectly fine if you want to have the pillow flat. You're just going to get more of that back extension, okay? So take your strap, please, and then you're going to take it in a big loop. So it's going to look like this, big, big loop, okay? Be careful of where you put that D-ring. You don't want it at the sacrum. You're going to put it over your head. And then I'm taking the strap around the bottoms of my feet. I'm going to pull this nice and taut, okay? So this is going to hold my legs into a bound angle position. This is heaven, I'll tell you. It feels wonderful. So base of my spine will find the base of the bolster. Try to make this as tight as you can so there's as little effort as needed here as possible. And then just allow yourself to lie down either on that firm pillow or the bolster. You can even do this on the floor. It's going to be a little bit more intense. You're not going to be as supported, but you'll get the idea. So making that strap nice and taut. And then, like I said, normally when we're in a bound angle, we really want to press the inner edges of the feet together, or the soles of the feet together. And this kind of does that for us. So you can just relax into the body and into the breath. Close your eyes if you'd like. And then the wider you take your arms, the more you open the heart space. And so let's just take a moment here. Listen to yourself breathe and listen to what your body has to tell you. Full, deep breath. You can sigh it out. That always feels good. It always feels like we're getting rid of old air and old energy that no longer serves us. And breathing in positive energies, releasing stale air and stale energy. This naturally opens your heart. The deeper you breathe, the more you feel that opening, that broadening between the shoulders. And just allow your body to sink into this shape. Finding ease in areas where we mostly find that tension. The hips. You can really celebrate this opening in the hips. Letting the knees just fall out. And if your mind starts to wander, and it probably will, adding a number to the breath sometimes helps. Or my favorite way to calm the mind in stillness in our yoga poses is just to simply say, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Take a few more rounds of breath here. And then maybe you blink your eyes open if you chose to close them. Bring a little bit of movement into the fingers, maybe a gentle fist, or maybe tapping your thumb to each finger. And then slowly begin to bring the feet, if you can. Sometimes we have that strap really tight, so you might have to roll to the side to get that strap from around the feet. But if you can do that while maintaining that connection of the bolster and the spine, then do that. And we'll just pause here with that bent knee position. And just notice how you feel a little bit more open and a little bit more at ease. Hopefully you guys have a little yoga buddy too. All right, walk your feet out as wide as the mat. Now we're not looking for a deep windshield wiper, just a little bit of rocking through the hips here. So not to drop the knees all the way to the floor. And then we'll heel toe the feet back together, and with ease we'll lower the knees to the floor to come to a seated position. Now this works best with 2 blocks. So if you have 2 blocks, or if you don't have 2 blocks, you can use a hardcover book. I'm going to grab my other block here. Find it. Well, Tori is very unprepared here, so I'm just going to use 1 block. But ideally, this works with 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to place a block on the block underneath, okay, the bolster. And then just to show you all here, we can kind of do this like this too. It's going to be a supported child's pose, okay? So yeah, this will work if you have one block like me. I'm sorry, my blocks are in the car from when I taught last night. But so this is a supported child's pose where we're going to wrap our arms underneath. I hope I don't snuff you guys out here. So you are going to be resting your head. I'm afraid I'm going to snuff the microphone if I do. So knees are wide, and you can scoot up on that pillow or bolster as much as you like. You can also use a yoga blanket if you would like. It's obviously not going to be as much support, but you'll get the idea. This is an awesome, awesome way to complement what we just did with that bound angle. You're getting into the outer hip, you're getting into the glutes. And that supported child's pose is always a very recommended pose to take in your daily practice. It's just a way to calm the nervous system, set the tone for your day. Whether you do it in the morning or at night, it's fine. It's just a wonderful way to release the spine, all the, brunt that we put on our spine, all the sitting, all the compression. It's a nice release. Notice the quality of your breath as you find this stillness. Notice how it feels to just be. We never, ever give ourselves that. So that's one thing, if any, I hope you take away from this series. How does it feel to just allow yourself to be? This is a gift to yourself. This isn't something that I want you to look at as, gosh, I have to get to this. I have to do this. Oh no, I hadn't had a chance to do it. No, no, no. This is a gift. This is your time, your date with your body. We have about 3 more breaths here in the supported child's pose. Maybe you find that you can breathe a little deeper into the diaphragm. We talked about that, I think, in our class 1, where when our diaphragm is compressed, there's that restriction. So it's training us to bring in a little bit more air and then take those deeper breaths off the mat. That diaphragmatic and thoracic breathing, that balance between front and back body. So when you're ready, maybe you find that next inhalation to bring in that last little sip of air. And then you can find a open mouth, really sigh it out. Let's do one more. Inhale. And then open mouth, exhale. And then slowly press yourself up to seated. You can come to that thunderbolt pose where you're sitting your hips back to the heels. Maybe even curl the toes if you want a little stretch in the plantar fascia. I make it sound so relaxing. That's a tough one though, right, guys? One more breath here. All right. Take your bolster, your blanket, or my dog wants to jump up on my bed. She knows she's not allowed to do that. I have to take the tape roll thing to get all her hair off, so she knows I get mad at her. All right. With this, we're going to do I'm going to give you 2 options. So this is a supported fish posture. So we took this in a bound angle position with the legs, but here you can have bent knees. Again, I'm hoping that you all have a firm pillow because the bolster is one of the best yoga props that you can own. Okay. Now, this is option 1. Option 2, legs can be extended long and you're getting that extension. So we're in a similar position where we were in the bound angle. This is your other option and one of my personal favorites. This is especially needed and awesome when if you work a desk job like I do, then you look very forward to this pose. Like I said, I like this variation with the bolster parallel to the short edge of the mat. It's going to be a deep, depending on the firmness and the height of what you choose to put underneath you. But mine is pretty thick, and so it's going to be a pretty deep back extension. Now, option to have a little neck support, head support. You can take the block to whatever variation suits you. And then we're going to go right at the thoracic. Okay. I'm going to extend my legs just because I like that variation. And oh, this feels amazing. Like I said, it just really counteracts all that flexion that we're in all for most of our day, right? And you can bend the knees. You can even windshield wiper a little bit. You'll feel a little bit more in the low back, but whatever works for you. And this here is a great place to cue our thoracic breathing. See how we did that? So when the thoracic spine is now compressed like this, then we tend to breathe deeper into the back body with awareness. So with your next inhale, I want you to notice big deep breath in and bring in a little bit more air when you think you can't. And then sigh it out. You'll feel so settled into this shape on the exhale. And I should have mentioned, and I apologize that I didn't, that you're more than welcome to use the blocks for this. Now it's going to be a little bit more intense. If you are going to use the blocks for this, then you need to have it long ways in between the shoulder blades. That's where you're going to get the most lift in the heart. Like I said, it's a little bit more intense, and you definitely have to have the block underneath the head for support. And I think we're going to work into full fish pose after this because it's a wonderful way to end our practice, Matsyendrasana. Then I will show you different variations from mild to, wow, I can't believe my body just did that. All right, let's take one more thoracic breath here. Breathe, expand through the rib cage. Inhale. And bring it in a little bit more. Inhale. And sigh it out. Drop the shoulders. Nice. All right. Now we're going to gently roll off of the whatever prop you chose to use there. No props here. I'm going to show you our final pose of the practice. I think I went a little bit over 20 minutes. Sorry, guys. Let's see. It says 24. So I'm doing okay. All right. Doing my best. All right. So fish pose. Now, we're going to take our arms, forearms to the floor, the palms to the floor. And then you can kind of wiggle them underneath the sits bones. Okay. And with that, you're going to kind of scooch back. As you do, squeeze your elbows together and then drop your head back. That block can be there if you want it to be, okay? So here is your fish pose, nice and supported. This is great for if you have sinuses, if you have a cold or headaches even, just really nice release there in that upper sinus area that causes those head colds and things. All right. Now, if you want to intensify this, you can bend the knees and bring your legs to point straight up. Keep squeezing the elbows towards one another. Great for your throat. It stretches your throat. We don't get many postures that we do that. So this is nice. All right. With ease, come out of this. And before I run over way too long in time, I really want to thank you for joining me, and I'm so happy that you all are here. I really, really am. I really am enjoying this series. It's so fun to learn with everybody and learn all this technology and things like that. So I love the suggestions that I'm getting in the email, the feedback. So please communicate with me how you're feeling, what you like, what you don't like, what you want more of, what you want less of. I want to hear from you guys. This is for you. And I want you to enjoy it. I really want you to get the most out of it that you can. So thank you all so much. I appreciate you all more than you know. So thank you for practicing with me. From my love of yoga to yours. Namaste.